Okay. The law of sines finds us missing information for non-right triangles. It will work if we know two angles and the side next to it, or two angles with the side between it. And down here at the bottom is what the law of sines look like. It's three equal ratios that pair up the angle of a letter and the side opposite that letter. Okay, it'll be A over sine A, B over sine B, C over sine C. The small letters, okay, the small letters are for sides. Lowercase letters are for sides. And the capital letters are for angles. Okay, so let's look at an example of how this works. So here we have a triangle with two angles and one side. If we draw the picture, we'll realize we don't have what we need. We have A, which is 94 degrees, but we don't have little a. We don't know B, but we know little b is 25, and we know that angle C is 67 degrees, but we don't know little c. But one of these facts we know from our math past: triangles are equal to 180 degrees. So we can always find our third missing angle by subtracting our two angles we do know and seeing what we have left. So that leaves us with 19 degrees for the missing angle B to equal. All right, so we can always find our missing angle first by subtracting. And now the new part. How can we find, now that we know 19 degrees is B, how can we find A and C? Well, now that we know B, we have one of our fractions set up that we can set up. We know that little b is 25 and angle B is 19, so the sine of 19 degrees. And that partners up with one of the other fractions that we know one of the numbers in, but not the other. Now let's go alphabetical. Let's say A over the sine of angle A, which is 94 degrees. These are two proportions. I would say let's go back to our days in 7th grade and let's solve the proportion by cross multiplying. A times the sine of 19 equals 25 times the sine of 94. And then we can divide by the sine of 19. So that A is alone. And we type that into our calculator. Be careful to check that you're in degree mode. On a Casio, you hit Shift and Menu to see what your mode is in. And on a TI, you just press the mode button to check. The other thing to watch out for when you type that in, 25 times the sine of 94, make sure you hit equals so that it'll stop calculating right then hit divide by the sine of 19. So 76.602 units. Now we know A. Now remember, this is a non-right triangle, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared is not an option. We have to go back to law of sines, set up the fraction we know, and set it equal to the fraction that we don't know one of the numbers in, which is now c over the sine of 67. And again, same steps. Cross multiply. and divide. C with sine of 19 equals 25 times the sine of 67. Divide by the sine of 19 because we want to get C by itself. So C will equal 25 sine 67 equals divided by sine 19 equals 70.684. Okay. You can verify that your answer is reasonable because the largest angle should create the largest side. So the 94-degree angle is angle A, so side A should be the largest answer, and it is, 76. And the smallest angle, which is B at 19 degrees, should create the smallest side, which 25 is the smallest side. So our answer is reasonable. Okay, and here's one more example. For good measure, we'll draw the picture. A is 28 degrees. Little a, which is across from it, is 8. B is 102 degrees. Clearly I did not draw to scale. And little b across from that we don't know. And we don't know angle C or side C. We know nothing. But that's okay, because our first step can always be to find the missing angle by taking the triangle sum of 180 and subtracting the two angles they told us. In this case, that leaves us with 50 degrees, which is the size of angle C. So now if we add that to our picture, I'll use a different color because we solved for it. Now we have something about C. Okay, so we're going to take our fraction that we know both pieces for, which in this problem is A, and we'll set that up. We'll know 8 over the sine of 28. And again, one at a time, we're going to pick one fraction where we know the angle but don't know the side. So let's go alphabetically again. Let's look for B by using the sine of 102. So we cross multiply. B times sine 28 equals 8 times sine 102. And we divide by the sine of 28 because we want to get B by itself. And we pick up our calculator and we type 8 sine 102. Oops. I accidentally hit the wrong number. Divided by, no. Okay, let me just start over. 8 sine 102 equals, divided by sine 28, 16.668. Okay, and then we can use our anchored fraction again, the one we know both numbers for, 8 over sine 28. And now we don't know side C. So we'll place C over sine of angle C, which is 50 degrees. And we'll repeat our steps. C times the sine of 28 is equal to 8 times the sine of 50. We divide by the sine of 28 because we want C by itself. And we'll type 8 sine 50 equals, divided by sine 28. And find out that C is 13.054. Okay, you can check for a reasonable solution at the very end. The biggest angle, which is 102 degrees, pairs up with B, which is in fact at 16 the biggest side. and angle A is the smallest at 28 degrees, and 8 is the smallest side, so our answers are reasonable. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with understanding the law of sines.